Yud, Amud Beis, Boy Rava, Boy Rava, Kohanim begez lager. Kohanim begez lager. Hayim kiryorshim avu. When you bring money that you had stolen from a ger to the Kohanim, are the Kohanim viewed as inheritors? Or mekabli matonasavu, or are they receivers of gifts? L'may nafkamina. What does it make a difference? Gon shegazal chametz shavalava Pesach. He stole from a ger chametz, and Pesach passed through it, and it's osir bana, so it's not worth anything. Yamrit sheyorshin havu, if they're heirs, hainu hadiyarsi moris. This is what they're giving over it as an inheritance. Yamrit makabli matana savu, matana kom rachmana d'neis lui. You have to give them a matana. V'halo kol yarv lo midi. The chametz is not worth anything. The Afra Balmu, it's like dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, the Gaza would have to pay the value, the money value of the chametz. Rav Zeiri boy hakni, afilu im tim saloimar, mikabli matona avu. I don't know what's wrong with my voice.
Drink some water, then any.
Afilu im tim salomar, mikabli matona avu. Even if you view them as receivers of gifts, alo iboilon.
Hello, sorry, where are we?
What we're asking is
110b.
Okay, at the bottom there, right?
The person had stolen from a ger 10 animals, and the ger died. So the Gazlan is giving 10 animals to the Kohen. Do you have to separate Meiser Behem or not? Do we say Yorshanav, they're considered like heirs? Sha'omar Mar. Betfisas Abayis. Chayovim. Therefore, we would say they're chayiv oidemu makabli matona avu utnana lokech banita lo matona. If you're given animals as a gift, potter b'meiser behema. Ma. So what's the din? Toshma. Esrim v'arba matonas kuhunin nistular levana. 24 kohanic gifts were given to Aaron. V'kula nitnu b'klal. It says vaydaber Hashem el Aaron. V'ani neini tatlachas mishmeres trumosai. L'cha netatim. Uprat. And then you have the details. Uklal. It says called Trumosa Kadashim Asherim Ubnei Yisrael Hashem. Ubris Melach. And there's a covenant with salt. Because it says Bris Melach Oilami. Kol Makaimin, whoever gives the gifts to the Kohanim, Ki ilu Makaim Klal Pratu Klal Bris Melach. You Makaim all of this. Kol Oivra Aleim, Ki Iver Oivra Klal Pratu Klal Bris Melach. Ve'eluhain. These are the 24 gifts. Esr b'mikdash, v'arba b'Yushalayim, 10 in the base of Mikdash, 4 in Jerusalem, v'esr b'gvul, and 10 anywhere in Eretz Yisrael. What are the Esr b'mikdash? Chatas behema. When you offer a chatas, the Kohanim get some of the meat. Chatas ha'of. When you offer a bird chatas, the Kohen gets some of the meat. Osham Vadai, a regular Vadai like Osham Gzelos or Me'ilos or Shivcha Charufa or Osham Nazir or Osham Mitzoira. he gets some of the meat. Ashram Tolui, which you have to bring on any case of Safek Kores. Zivchei Shalmei Tzibur, the steak kvasim that's brought on Shavuos, he gets some of the meat. Log Shemen Shal Mitzoira, some of the oil of the Mitzoira that you put on the thumbs. Moiser HaOimer, whatever's left over from the Minchas HaOimer, Shtei HaLechem of Shavuos, V'lechem HaPanim, U'Shiyarei Menachos, the remainder of all other Menachos. So those are the 10 in the Mikdash. Arba B'Yushalayim, B'Choira, which is the B'chor V'Be'emet Tohira, Bikurim, first fruits, Hamura Min HaToida V'Ayil Nazir, the parts of the Korban Toda or the ayil of a Nazir that's given to the Kohanim, which is the Chaz of V'Shok, the breast and the thigh, and the 4 loaves of bread. And for the El Nazir, it's the cooked foreleg, and the challah and the rokik. And then oirois kotshim, the hides of all the animals that have been offered as korbanos. Asar bigvulin, 10 gifts outside of Yerushalayim. Truma's meiser that the Levi has to give. Challah, if you bake bread. Reishis hagez, the first shearings. The matonas rolachayim v'keva for all chulin animals. Pidyon aben, pidyon petr chamor, stei achuza, ustei chremin, v'gez lager. V'kakori miyas matana. The Torah calls all of these gifts. Shma bina, mekabli matana savu. They're not yorshim, but they're receivers of gifts. Period. Then, nasanas hakesef lanshe mishmar. If the money was returned, then but he died before the Asham was offered, the Orshim cannot get the money back. Amar Rabbi Shmamina, that the Kesef is Mechaper Mechza. It gives you half of the atonement. The Ilo Mechaper, if it had no kapor at all, Hava mean I would have thought, so if the korban had not been offered, Mahadir Liorshim, the money would have to go back to the Orshim as well. My time up, because I died to the Hachi Lo Yavle. It would be like Mekach Tos, because it wouldn't have been given to the Kohen if he knew that the korban wasn't going to be given. Well, Elameyata, Chatos Shemesu Balel. Somebody designates a korban chatas, and the owner dies. So maybe Tepuk L'chulin, that daita dachi lo afarshe. He never would have separated an animal if he knew he was going to die. Amri, chatas shemesu balei hilchos agmira lo, that it goes lemisa azlo. It's a special halacha. Elameyata ashram shemesu balav lepuk l'chulin. Same thing with an ashram. That daita dachi lo afsharei. Ashram also is hilchos agmira lo. Kosher b'chatos mesa, b'ashram roya. Whatever happens to a chatas that causes it to be killed, the same thing to an ashram. Ashram has to graze. Elamayata yavama shenafel ifnei mukashkin. A lady in waiting falls to a brother that's full of leprosy. Tepuk b'loch litza. Because adayta dachilo kitcha atzma, she would have never married the brother if she knew he was going to die and this was going to be her condition. So that is not a good answer. Because Hasaman Ansadi, the Menech Nechle B'chodu, she still would have been happy to get married. Keresh Lakish, the Amaresh Lakish, Tav L'meitav Tandu, L'meitav Armelu. A person would rather get married than to remain alone. Tanan. Nosanis HaKesef liyarav. Ton rabbanon. Nasan asham liyarav. They gave the animal for the korban asham to one mishmar. The kesef liyadah, and the money was given to a different mishmar. Yachzer kesef etzel asham. The yadah people have to send the money to the Yaharav people, and therefore the korban and the money were in the same mishmar. Div Rabbi Yehuda. Chachamim Amri, no. Yachzer asham etzel kesef. The animal is sent by the first mishmar to the mishmar that has the money, and the second mishmar will be makar of the korban. Hey Chidami, what's the case? He showed up during the week of Yarav, gave the asham to Yarav, and then the next week was Yadoi, and he gave the kesef Yadoi b'mishmarto Yadoi. So why should that be a problem? Each one should just, this one gets the korban and makrivs it, and this one keeps the money. Amravach maskinon ena chanami. That's the way it would work if that's what happened. But here, the yoiv asham liyarav b'mishmarto Yarav, they gave the korban to the mishmar of Yarav, but the kesef Yoda also b'mishmarto Yarav. The money should have been given to Yarav, but they gave it to Yadoi. Rabbi Yehuda Savar, Kivan delav mishmeres Yadoi, doesn't belong to them. Liyadoi kansinanle. We make a fine, and therefore we force them milkach yachzer hakesef eitzel asham. They have to send the money to the other mishmar. Rabbanan savi shelo kedinhu ovid b'nei Yarav shekiblu asham mekame kesef. The first mishmar did not do correctly by accepting the animal without the money. Hilkach lididu kansin. We knas them. The yachzer asham eitzel kesef. The asham is sent by them to the mishmar that has the money. Tanya Amar Rebbe. Div Rabbi Yehuda. Im kadmu bnei Yarav ikrivus asham. If the mishmar of Yarav went ahead and was makriv, yachzer v'yavi asham acher. V'yakrivu bnei Yedoya. The person has to bring another asham, and the bnei Yedah has to be makriv it. And the v'zachu alalu b'masha b'yodan. The Yarav that offered the original asham, they keep what they keep. Amri l'may chazi. Asham pasul. They don't get anything. He has to. It's completely burnt. Yeah, Amarava but la'oira, they get the hide. Tanya Rabbi, l'diver Rabbi Yudim kiyim asham. If the bnei Yarav did not offer the asham yet, it's still alive. So the Mishnah said, Yachzer asham eitzel kesef. They send the animal to the next mishmar who has the money. But Rabbi Yehuda was one who said that the second mishmar should send the money back to the first mishmar. The mishmar of Yarav ended, and they didn't demand the money from the next mishmar. They're moichel the money. Tanya Rabbi Rebbe. If the asham is still alive, Yachzer kesef eitzel asham. The money should be sent to the mishmar that has the animal. Pshita, hachi islay, that's the way Rabbi Yehuda says, B'feirush, what chiddush is it? Achmai skinon, you go to nafak mishpartam, da'ani v'da'ani, v'lo tovu. Both mishmars are over. Neither demanded anything. Maybe Ma'odesei ma'chuli gabi adodi, that the first mishmar was moichel the money. Kamash malon damin and kiven to lo tovu l'adra b'reisha. No, just because we didn't demand the money, we don't give up our claim because it should have been returned to the beginning, the money to the Osham, to the Bnei Yehoshua. Then Amevi Gzelo, Ad Shalohevi Ashamo, the person returned the money even before the korban was offered, Yotza. But If they brought the korban first, no. Minani milama rava, amar kra, ashama mushav lashem lakohen, milvad ela kiprima shechaper bo. Michlal shekesef beresha. We learn that the word asha means the money. That has to be done first. Amram rabban l'rava, elameata. It says milvad olasa boker, asher laolasa tamid. Hachinami michlal shemusafin beresha. Does that imply that you could offer the musaf first? Latanya. Minayin shlo yedover kodem lakrovas tamid shel shachar. You can't offer anything before the morning tamid. Talmud lama varach aleha oila, v'iktir aleha chel ve'ashlamim, v'amar rava ha oila rishona. It's the first korban. Amar le Rava will answer, Ano mashay chaper bo nafkale. That's a future tense. That when he returned the money, the ram had not been offered. Nasan losa keren, below nasan losa chomesh. You can still bring the osha. The chomesh is not ma'akev. Ton rabban. Minayin shem hevi me'ilaso. You bring your korban me'ilah. V'lo hevi ashrama, or vice versa. Ashrama v'lo hevi me'ilaso. Shelo yotza tamud lamar be'ela ashrama nislach lo. Uminayin shem hevi ashrama ad shelo hevi me'ilaso shelo yotza. If he brought the asham and the meal hadn't been brought, Talmud Lamer be'ela asham. Asham bikvar. You're talking about the asham had been offered already. Yachol kashem sha'ayil v'asham akvin. So the money and the korban have to be done in a certain way. Kach choimish ma'akav. So what about the fifth? Talmud Lamer be'ela asham v'nislach lo. El v'asham akvin be'egdish. Ve'in choimish ma'akev. If you return the money and bring the korban, that's enough. V'yilamid hegdish mehedyot. Mehedyot mehegdish. Hegdish mehedyot ma asham dahasam. Karen, asham referred to there, refers to the money of asham dahacha. By me'ilah, it also refers to the money. And hedyot mehegdish, ma hegdish ein choimish ma'akev. In both cases, not bringing the fifth will not ma'akev the process. New Mishnah, new Perek Asiri. Somebody steals and he feeds what he stole to his children. Or miniach lifneim, he gave it to them and he died. The sons have no chiyuv to return what the father stole. However, and we'll see that means it's still around, means it wasn't eaten up. Chayavin l'shalim, they have to return it. On Rav Chizda, if the bailim have not abandoned hope, somebody comes and eats up what the Gazlan had, so the bailim can collect from either Ratza Mizeh, Goiva, Ratza Mizeh, Goiva. They can collect from the Ganef, or they can collect from the guy who ate the Ganef. My time, as long as the bailim have not abandoned hope of returning it, it stays in this position. So it's a problem from our Mishnah tonight. Right? He gives it to his children, they eat it. Why? If they haven't given up hope, we just said Rav Chizda says has to be returned. To you, Rav Chizda. We're talking about, in that case of the Mishnah, the owner abandoned hope. But if he had not done Yeyush, you'd have to return it be'en. He left it and he died. Also, poter milashalim. Ami Rabbi Chazoyso Meretz. Rishus yoresh kirshus lokech domi. Once they inherited something, it's as if they bought it. And therefore, it's removed from the rishus of the regular owner. But Rava Omar, rishus yoresh lav kirshus lokech domi. A yoresh is not viewed like a purchaser. So how come here they don't have to pay? They ate it up. So if the gzeila is not kayemes, it doesn't fulfill achrayas, then there's nothing to return. Must be we are talking about a gzeila that's in existence. It's just there's no guarantee on it. If he left over land, which is something that guarantees transactions, and all of the debts of a person can be paid off by land, chayav and l'shalim. Even if the gzeila is not in existence. So right now, we're learning pshat, that what achrayus means is he owns land. So v'hamasti la, Rabbi Shimon Bray, lo davar sheish b'achrayus mamish, we're not talking about land. El afilu par v'chorish ba. As long as what was stolen is in existence, he has the count, he's plowing with it. Chamor mechamer achrav, charav la'achzir. And they covered avian. Otherwise, people will go around saying the father's a goslin. So this is not talking about achrayus like we normally know achrayus means land. It's an object that's still in existence. In fact, Elo Amarava, when I come up to Shemayim, Rav Oshia is going to greet me because I'm going to say a nice vort in his name. The Tristam Asdisen Kavose. The Tani Rav Oshia, Goizel Machilas Pno, somebody steals and feeds his sons with it, P'turim Ilashalim. And he explains, if he niach lifneim and he died, im gzeila kayemes chayavim. If what was stolen is still around, they have to return it. Ein gzeila kayemes p'turim. He niach lehem aviyam achrayas nechasim.
I still don't understand. It's difficult to understand what, but we know there was he took something that had erech. There was a value to it.
Correct.
That
but if it's not the end, they are not the goslin, so they don't have a chiyuv lahashiv gzeila.
So, but the goslin would be still higher for the money.
For the money, and that does not transfer over to the yorshim.
So in other words, as long as the object
exists.
What happens if they didn't eat it?
Then they have to return it. Then they have to return it. The concept of achrayus means if it's kayemes. It's kayemes, ein gzeila kayemes p'turim.
Pays to eat it right away.
Say that again.
Pays to eat it right away.
Yeah. Well, if it was eaten,
but you still have to bring it. You don't have to bring anything. You still have liable something.
If the goslin is still alive and he eats it, he has to return kishas gzeila the money.
The money. No, that I understand.
It's only the children that don't. The yorshim don't.
But I'm just saying, so that yeah, but they must be chayav something minasha for their father. Something.
The whole reason to return it is lekovid shem aviv.
Aviv.
It's a kovid issue.
So the right thing to do would still be to give back money even if you ate it, to pay back something.
You're talking about the children?
Yeah.
But they're not chayiv. They're not chayiv.
But they're not chayiv. Not being chayiv doesn't mean that you're not chayiv something. In other words, something wrong here. can't be moral. It's not a moral thing. You can't just father stole it, you ate it. Ah, the guy comes. Oh, have a nice day, buddy. Obviously, these children were ktani.
So let me tell you the way the Shulchan Aruch and the Rambam paskin. They paskin like you. First of all, Rishus Yoresh, Eina Kishus Lokeach. It does not change the ownership of the object. He's not like a purchaser. V'lachein, Mishi Yorash Gzela. The father died and he inherited something that was stolen. Haredina Ki'ilu Nishera Birshusa Gazlan. It's as if the Gazlan is still alive. Ve'afilu Nisyashu Balea Mimena, HaChoiva Lachzira Be'enei. You have a choiv to return it, be'en, if it's around. If it's not around, the shalem demeat, you have to pay its money. Tluya im nasa bo shinui. It will depend whether there was going to a shinui. In the
Yeah, I'm just saying. So that makes sense
no
now.
shinui, if there's no shinui, they would have to return either the object be'en or they have to pay the value if there was a shinui. So,
All right, I'm just.
so you
That
can
makes sense. Because it does make sense.
and we're going to analyze this. We're not through. How did the Shulchan Aruch reach this? Because we'll see. Amar Mar, Eina Gzela Kayemes Pturin. The Gzela is not in Iran, they're potter. Name it to have a tiyuf till Rav Chisda. That the Bailim, if they're not been misyayish, can still demand return, even from the Yorshim. Amar Rav Chisda, Ki Tanya Ilachar Yesh. So when it says Pturin, it meant after Yeush. Now we're going to see. The Gemara is not going to end up this way. The Gemara is going to end that even with Yeush, they have a chov to return it. Amar Mar. Gzela kayemes chayavin l'shalom. That if the object exists, they have to return it. Name it tevet tiyufta al Rami Bar Chama. He said that there was a shinui made through Yerusha Pturim, because it's like a lokeach. Amar l'charim Bar Chama, ki tanya yi lifnei Yeush. That's only lifnei Yeush, but if there's Yeush, it might be different. And the Gemara will continue this analysis until we finally see what the final halacha is, which I quoted tonight. Okay, tomorrow, 7:30.
Enya, are you okay? I missed you today. Switch off the recorder.
I had 9 patients that I had to see, new patients.